Okay, as I was saying, tonight, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Branch presents Battle in the Valley 2024 from the San Jose Civic Center in San Jose, California. We kick it off with some kickoff matches. Oh, wait, there's one match I missed. Sorry about that. Hey, Evie. As I was saying, we kick it off with a kickoff match presented by the Strong Academy. Matt Vandagriff against Goldy. Goldy got the debut first, so I'm going to go him with this match. I don't know enough about Vandagriff yet. Viva Vaughn against Stephanie Vaquer. I'm going to go Vaquer to win this in the second match, given her greater amount of experience from her time in CMLL. A six-man tag match. Shota Umino, Fred Rosser, and Jacob Fatu against Team Filthy. Filthy Tom Lawlor, Jorel Nelson, and Royce Isaacs. For Shota, this is something that can distract him from his feud with Ren Narita, especially when they go after each other on February 9th. And once we hit February, once the Road to New Beginning tour begins, and they try to kill each other in Korakuen Hall, which occurs on let's see, January 20. Let's see. Nope. Not that day. '24th. So that would be next Thursday. Next Wednesday, I believe. That being said, again, this is something I'll do a little more than be a distraction for Shooter. Something to clear his mind until the 24th, where he can finally get his hands on Narita one-on-one and possibly murder the little bastard for betraying him. So I'm going to give this to Shooter, Rosser, and Fatu. Next up, Lucha Libre Battle commences. Mascara Dorado and Volador Jr. take on CMLL Classic Welterweight Champion Rocky Azuka Romero and Soberano Jr. While most in New Japan would recognize Rocky as a babyface, in both CMLL and MLW, he's a notorious heel. The former, because he doesn't really play well with the crowd in Mexico, and the latter because he sold his soul to a succubus in the form of Salina de la Renta, just to get himself the MLW Middleweight Championship. And I'm disappointing you for doing that, Rocky. So I'm going to go with but do I expect the King of Sneaky style to find a way to sneak a win to the back door for his squad? Yes. So with that, I'm going to take the Rudo team of Rocky Romero and Soberano Jr. to win. Moving on to a match that's not for the new IWGP Global title. TJP versus David Finlay. This is all set up for February 11th, New Beginning in Osaka, United Empire versus Bullet Club inside a steel cage in 10-man tag team warfare. TJ created a new, darker iteration of himself at Wrestle Kingdom, the Ajwang, and I think that portion of the character is bleeding into him. He's a grade A nutcase. Turning into a grade A monster. For those who don't know what an Ajwang is, basically think a shape-shifting Filipino vampire. I mean, and this iteration of TJ is flat out terrifying his tag partner, Francesco Akira. And to be honest, with what I saw at Wrestle Kingdom, I don't blame Francesco for being spooked. Because it seems like TJ is now being fueled by sadism and bloodlust. By an animalistic bloodlust. But will that be enough to carry him to victory over David Finlay? In my view, no. The Rebel gets the W. Next up, the strong openweight tag team titles are on the line. GOD, ELP, and Hikuleo defend against the War Dogs, in this case represented by Clark Connors and Alex Coughlin. Now, why isn't Gabe Kidd teaming with Coughlin? Simple. He's going after the AEW Continental Crown, which is both the AEW Continental Champion, which is 3 belts in one, the AEW Continental Championship, the New Japan Strong Openweight, and the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. As such, Clark Connors has decided to step in. And while these two had quite a tag team chemistry alongside Carl Fredericks when they were young lions in the LA Dojo, they haven't teamed up for the better part of a couple of years due to weight class. And due to their weight class. And fresh off losing the IWGP Junior Tag titles, is it the right move to put that gold back on Clark Connors' waist? No. He may be 100 proof, but that's only half of a booze content. And Hikuleo and ELP are going to stomp them into the dirt. I am taking Phantasmo and Leo to retain in their third defense of the strong titles. Now, keep in mind, only the strong titles are on the line. The IWGP Heavyweight Tag titles are staying put at least until one of the New Beginning shows when they defend against both Kenta and Chase Owens of Bullet Club. For the New Japan Strong Women's title, Giulia defends against Trish Adora. Since July 5th, Giulia has held onto that belt for months and has been basically running roughshod over anyone dumb enough to try to get it off her. But I think with her set and to go to the WWE fairly soon, they're going to have to take the belts off her. And if there's a candidate to do it with, it's Trish Adora. So I'm going to go with her to become the new Strong Women's Champion. No, can't do the Chiefs game. It's on Peacock. I don't have Peacock. Anyway, Matt Riddle and a mystery partner take on TMDK's Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito. Now, for those wondering, I've been iffy on Riddle being part of New Japan. Why? What's a major character flaw? What is Matt Riddle's biggest personal and character flaw? Goal by Aaron Fox, second of the day, 2-1 Rangers. Yeah, I'm also watching the Rangers versus the Capitals, for those wondering what's going on. Anyway, what's Riddle's biggest character flaw? Not just as a wrestler, but as a person. The guy is a fucking stoner. I mean, you gotta drill into his head, go Mr. Mackey mode, and completely drill it into his head. Marijuana's bad. You do marijuana, you're bad. Okay? I'm serious, boy. Marijuana shouldn't be taking weed, because weed is bad. Okay? Okay? And of course, we all know that on the 11th, he is challenging Hiroshi Tanahashi for the New Japan World Television title. And with that match, let's just say I have a bad feeling about it. On one hand, it would be nice to see if Riddle can carry an international title that's not from the UK. But on the other hand, can you trust a stoner, a man with a known track record of weed problems, to carry a title? As for who the partner is, I'm hearing rumors it's Cobb. I'm hearing rumors it's Tanahashi. Some saying RVD. But whoever it is, I don't fucking care. But best bet is it's Tanahashi. You know, the whole know your enemy dynamic. Know your opponent dynamic going into New Beginning on February 11th. That's my best guess as to who's going to be Riddle's partner tonight. I mean, others are saying it's Bryan Danielson. Because we know that on the 11th, Danielson and Zack are going to collide too. Oh, I screwed up. Tanahashi and Riddle's match is on the 23rd of February, not the 11th. That will be in Sapporo, for those wondering. And we have the New Japan Cup tournament set up. We announced. That's good. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 10 shows. They're really thinning the field. They're going to really have the field thinned this year. I mean, I get why they had it bloated 3 of the past 4 years. Due to the pandemic, border closures, they had to, and having to use what few talents they had on hand. What talents they had on hand without being over-reliant on Gaijin talent. I guess Tanahashi's way of fixing the company is to go back to basics. Which I don't have an issue with, to be fair. But let's get back on the case. I'm going to give this to Riddle and whoever his partner is. Next up, the Continental Crown is on the line. Eddie Kingston defends against Gabe Kidd of the War Dogs. Kidd has been chomping at the bit for singles gold. recklessly going after anyone without without regard to the consequences. I mean, he's taking Finlay's words to heart about what Finlay wants in Bullet Club. Savages and killers only. Bring gold or bring corpses. But that said, I am going to take Eddie to retain for the 11th time. Yes, this is, well, technically, it's his second defense of the crown belt itself, but overall, it's an 11th when you throw in the New Japan Strong Openweight and the ROH World titles. Almost into the situation. So yeah, that's where I'm going with that one. Next up, no DQ. Shingo Takagi against Jon Moxley. This is right up John's alley. Can Shingo go blow for blow with a guy who is known as a death match militant? Death matches are not in Shingo's repertoire, or in most cases. I mean, one can count the Who's My Daddy match that he and Phantasmo had at KOPW at Nightmare on 34th Street, on 44th Street, back in October of 2022 as a death match. Sure, I could see your logic in that. But has Shingo been in promotions that relegate to death, that feed that bloodlust? Promotions like Combat Zone, Game Changer, Pro Wrestling Freedoms, like Moxley has. Okay, to be fair, I don't think John's ever been in Freedoms, but the point is still applicable. Short answer is no. Shingo has not been in those kinds of promotions. John spent his early years of wrestling cutting his teeth in combat in CZW when it was at the peak of its psychosis. Raph, I can't watch Dynamite. I don't have a cable dish set up or HBO Max. But do I agree that AEW is struggling? Yes. I mean, I was at one of the more recent tapings of Collision last week. And while the show was decent, most of the matches, with the exception of the Continental Crown title match between Beretta and Kingston, and the main event tag match between House of Black and FTR, were all were matches that were more meh. Those two matches alone are what elevated the show to decent in my mind. Do I think Nick Nemeth is going to pop up? No. In my view, they're going to... Delta? No. In my view, they're probably going to save him until we get to New Beginning in Sapporo on February 23rd, or in Hokkaido. But let's get back on topic to the main event. Nope. For possibly the last time in New Japan, the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada against the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. For Will, this is one itch he desperately needs to scratch before his contract runs out in February. What's that itch he needs to scratch? Defeat Okada fair and square in a non-tournament setting. Keep in mind, the only two times Ospreay has only defeated Okada twice, and both instances were during the G1 climax. G1 30, with aid from both his ex-girlfriend Bea Priestley and the Great O'Khan, he beat Okada, knocked him out of the G1 30, and left Chaos to form the United Empire. And then the most recent G1 climax, where Will basically elevated himself to legit GOAT status, in my mind. into being the legitimate GOAT. Beating Okada clean as a sheet in under 20 minutes. However, if this is the last time he faces Okada, and if I follow the New Japan pattern correctly, he's not getting that win, that definitive non-tournament win against Okada. I'm going to give this to Okada to close out the show, though there will be a thank you, Will chant throughout the Civic Center by the end of the night. Mark my words. Marcos, this is a little too short notice because it slipped my mind until today. I didn't bring it up with him, so I'm doing this one solo. Plus, he and I had to did our predictions for Hard to Kill last night. So this one I'm doing solo. Otherwise, a doubleheader last night would have taken up too much time. Heck, it could have even been a tripleheader because of this morning. Pro Wrestling Noah was having a stop on their Star Navigation Tour stop event today in Cork and Hall, with the main event being Keno defending the GHC heavyweight title against Go Shiozaki, which was won by Keno. However, that being said, and I decided to not, because I didn't drop this on Jose fast enough, I decided to go it alone for this one. That's it for this show, for this solo shot. Leave a comment, smash the like, sub to my channel. This is Mets2128 signing out. Goodbye, and good fucking night. Bang.